Hey y'all, I'm Shalise,
And I'm Kai, and you're listening to the Talkin to Brunch podcast.
where we eat, drink, and talk some shit. So grab your glass.
And pull up a seat to the table.
All right. Hello, and welcome back to the Talking a Brunch podcast. I'm Shalise Bree.
And I'm Kai.
And of course, per usual, we're going to start with the tip of the day. So I'm just going to go back and reiterate what I said last week, which was, hey Atlanta, sit your down. Ashley, please bleep that out. You need to read. Never mind. Okay. So, yeah, I need y'all to sit down. Somebody actually sent me a video of people in Decatur, like all out in the streets, not even remotely practicing social distancing this morning. And I was just like, why are y'all doing this? Like, what was the reason? Yes, it's just like, please don't do what people expect us to do. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's just use a little bit of logic and sense and, I don't know, common thought process or something. Like, let's just work a little harder. Put that together and just really go out here and stay away from people. There we go. Yep, that's all I got to say. That's a tip.
Cool. How long do we think we're going to keep talking about it? I think that message has been put out so much that I don't know if people are actually even caring anymore.
Honestly, I don't think. I mean, I think people are going to keep. All right, let me just say this. People going to do what they want to do. That is, a well-known fact. No matter what color you is, you're going to do whatever you want to do. But I do think that because we have a platform, no matter how small, that we should definitely reiterate that point. Like, it's just like our responsibility. Like, regardless if y'all don't listen to us or not, we should just say it. Yeah. I don't know how long it has to be said before people listen.
Well, now people have that option though. So it's kind of like, I'll listen to it, but I'm bored. I think I'm just going to head out. Like, all right, I'm going to head out.
All right. Like,
since I have options, you know what? Let me see what happens. But, I'm okay with staying in the house. And I think other people should be too. And that's how I feel.
Well, I think we can, the Talking a Brunch podcast people, we all feel the same way. So sit down. All right. So we're going to move into our topic of the day. So we're going to talk about dating without talking about men or the other party in a relationship, regardless if you talk to, women or however you do it. So that's how we're going to approach today. We're going to approach it in a manner that is all about you, because Ashley said something very very necessary. She said, the common denominator in all of your failed relationships is you. So,
no.
I didn't say it that harsh. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't care if it sounds harsh or not. It's a fact. It is a fact that the fail, like, it is. You want to be, with somebody forever and blah, blah, blah. Granted, somebody, it might, might not be your person. But at the same time, I think it's time that we really harp on accountability. And so
that's going to be hard for me.
Of course. You accountable? What? That's crazy.
What do you mean? I did everything I was supposed to do.
And this is why it's so important for us to talk about this, because look at how you ladies think. Look at you.
I'm just me. I'm talking about by myself. If somebody else think like that, then that's just them. I'm just saying.
Oh no, you are not alone, and that's the problem. You are
Yes.
not alone in that thought process. All
Okay.
right, so Kai,
How do you
what do
start this?
you? How do you feel like you have perpetuated a negative scenario consistently in your life? And I feel like I asked that question wrong,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
but I messed up because I had questions and they are over there.
Oh, I need her to ask the right questions.
Like
Like
my notebook is so far away, and I'm like, bruh.
okay. You want to try again, or do you want to get those questions?
Okay, I am going to try again.
Okay.
Because if I get up, I'm just gonna like screw. I'm clumsy. I don't know if y'all know, but I've already knocked this orange juice
How
down.
far is it?
Mm. It just feels like the Sahara Desert in between
Oh
us.
my gosh. Okay. All
Whatever.
right. All
All
right.
right. So basically, like, let's talk about like one thing that you feel like you've done consistently and repetitively in your relationships that you haven't fixed.
Mm, that hits the heart. Okay, so when I'm upset about something or I don't like what my partner does, I tend to overthink
Mm-hmm.
and overfeel.
Mm-hmm.
And then in turn, I shut down. So now I am cussing out this person in my head. I am like, I'm furious. I'll get upset for real. And then I'll pretty much lead myself to feel worse than what the situation might be instead of just vocalizing, like, hey, this ain't cool, you know?
Right.
So, and then from there, it just kind of goes a little roller coaster, but then we get back up. But then, in my head, I'm still like, look what you did to me. Instead of like taking accountability what I did to myself too. So it making whole scenarios in my head, you know.
You know what? I think that's a really good point. I think a lot of people do that. Not even just women. I think a lot of people do that instead of, just voicing like what bothered you. I think a lot of times we just hold it in, don't say anything about it, and then eventually it blows up in somebody's face. I don't know whose
Yeah.
face.
And see, I think my problem is like I don't want to come off like I'm nagging. Cause I mean, a lot of things bother me. Like a lot of little things bother me, and so I want to make sure I'm like addressing it properly and not coming off like I'm just bitching about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
Right?
Do you feel like you
So
spend too much time thinking about how to say something so much so that you never even say it?
yes, because I want to be heard. And it's like, how do you make somebody listen and understand where you're coming from? You know what I'm saying? Without being in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't have that balance. I don't have that balance.
I always have a something that's helped me, and I've said this to many of people. How many of you listen? Mm. I always say, like, if you really feel some type of way about something, but you don't know how to get it out, write it out. Like, if you start writing, eventually you will be able to pinpoint the right words on how. Now, like I said, I'm going to say this: you can't make nobody feel you. You can't make nobody hear you, but you can do your best to make sure that you've gotten your point across, and basically you dotted all of your I's and crossed all your T's in why you felt some type of way, even if the reason is silly.
See, and I feel like all my reasons are silly, but it's like
They probably
I
are.
don't like it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to invalidate you.
You invalidate my feelings, but now, like, so how? Okay, coming from like an emotional, intense person, like, when do you know it's wrong? Well, not wrong. When do you know, like, you can let it go? Like, how?
Yo,
Like,
my dog is trying to break into the room. Chi-Chi, get away from the door.
oh gosh, it's about to be a train of things because Jaden out there without his distraction. So I'm just waiting on the time he's gonna come in here and knock over the door or bamboo bum rush the door.
Hey.
I'm like, Mama. So I seen this and that, but go ahead. Yeah, what I was saying. How do you know that something is minute or it's not as big of a deal as I make it in my head? Like, okay, what would you consider something that I shouldn't, I guess, make a whole dilemma? Like, what is small and what you consider is significant to talk about?
Okay.
Like, what would you consider?
Okay, so I would start with saying that if it feels big to you, then it is big. I just think that you just have to work on how you're going to address it. And I would also say that once you've addressed something once, or I'd even say twice, because it does take time for someone to get to know you, I would say that after that, you need to G check yourself on if I'm like, am I just doing this out of insecurity? Like, where is this emotion really stemming from? Did I even like get my point across properly the last time I said it?
Mm-hmm.
Did I take the proper, like, I wouldn't even, I guess I'm like,
Okay, let's take a situation. Let's find a
all
situation.
right.
Let's say ghosted for a couple hours.
Girl.
Don't start with me. So let's say, listen, you're used to a routine. Okay.
Okay.
We've been consistent communicating, right? And then like, and you have addressed it like saying, hey, if you're gonna be doing something, then it'll be cool to get a heads up instead of like mid talking, I don't hear from you. Like mid texting, should I say. And it's just like whoop, gone for like 3-4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 hours. I don't care about y'all little faces. Okay.
Well,
Because if we're mid talking, like, isn't it just a thing out of respect? Like, hey, I'm about to bamboozle for some hours. Like, I finna be gone for like a couple hours. I'm about to. It ain't saying you have to be in details or nothing like that, but it's just kind of like we're in probably mid good conversation, and it's just like gone.
Only time I'll jump in. Sometimes you just can't plan when like life is gonna hit you and you're gonna disappear. That's why Shalise and I rolled our eyes because we're just like, because it's like you're almost now treating that person like a child. Like you need to check in with me every second of every day. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
like if you have to like let me know when you're not gonna text me for a couple hours, I'm gonna feel like God. So she needs to know when I like go pee too. You know what I
Really?
mean?
yes.
Really people think that?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, it comes off very micromanaging. And
Okay.
that doesn't really come from a healthy place of why do you
Okay.
feel like you need to, know this person's every step and every move. And I
It's not
and I know
knowing
you're
every
not
step of
saying
the
that, but it comes off
way.
that way. And so
Okay, so how do we correct that? Well, how do I? Me? Okay, how do I look, me?
Mm-hmm.
So, do I just have to let it go until they come back and say, "I was gone for doing this, da da da," or they just come back and we pretend as if it just didn't happen?
I, girl, I would literally say like, first of all, you need to relax. That's the first thing. Relax. I
Oh.
know women hate hearing that, but relax, relax, calm down, chill out, which is something I need to do.
What do we do for those overthinkers?
You need to
Me.
write it
But
out, because if you write it out, eventually you will see why
okay,
it's
Imma
bothering you
try it.
so much. Like, and a lot
Okay.
of times it doesn't even stem from like, oh my, like, you know what? A point that I wrote down was that a lot of people are just bored. And
Oh.
I think like you are relying on someone unhealthily for entertainment. You need to make
Okay,
some business
okay.
about yourself so that if somebody does, you know, have something else going on, then you can entertain
Mhm.
yourself.
Okay,
So
cool.
that
I think you hit a little spot there. Bored.
Yeah,
Me
the more busy you are, the less you'll
notice.
yeah, exactly. Y
Okay.
Don't worry, Shalice, I got you when we get to you.
I mean, we can get to me. I don't have no problem with that. Like, I'll just, yes, just get busy. And I'm not saying like I'm not gonna be like, no sleep Twitter and be like, you need to go get a hobby to make you some money. And you know what I'm saying? You need to get 6 ways of making income. Girl, go read a book. Go watch a Netflix series. Get on Twitter and, get on Reddit. Watch a thread. I don't know. Do something other than be so pressed about what this person could be doing. And I know you're not pressed about what they could be doing, but I'm just saying for some people, because I know that's not necessarily your issue, but
Mhm.
excuse me. Um, I do think that your issue is just boredom and you not having enough to do, and then somebody like coming in and
She's not gonna see that. She gonna take it.
somebody's gonna come in and fix your boredom, and then the moment they take a take a break from this 9 to 5 you created for them, you're like, what the heck?
Oh
What
my
the heck?
gosh, not
What the heck?
okay, I can see how that could come off on
Yeah,
you. It's a job.
you definitely made it their job
I'm going
now.
on lunch.
Yeah, it's like I need a break to not be looking at my screen every 6 seconds. Just don't really want
Okay,
to be
but that's
doing
the other
that.
thing. If you know they be looking at their screen and like it's not if they're looking at their screen, like they be by their phone though. Like they be by their
Okay,
phone.
so I'm a really grind your gears with this one, because I've
Oh,
been
here we
practicing this. Just because I have my device with me does not mean
go. Okay.
that I am accessible at all times. Do not feel
Okay.
that way. That is a how do I say this? Like, you feel, and that means you feel entitled to my time regardless. Like, don't feel entitled to my time. I can decide what I want to do when I want to do it. Just because I have this all communicative device with me all the time does not mean that I constantly want to communicate with anyone. I don't feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I should be able to just, scroll Instagram or, like a few pictures without responding for a while, because I just want to have a break from talking to somebody.
Okay.
And I don't feel like it's fair for somebody to have to announce that either.
Okay. It's fair.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Tessie, are you listening to me? Is that you listening to me?
Um, yeah, I guess so.
What?
I guess. But yeah.
Hi, you were going to ask me a question?
So yeah, don't need to I forgot what it was. Um, let's move on. I forgot.
Okay.
Yep. Sure did.
Um,
Mhm.
So, Shalice, we'll just
So
talk
no
about
9 to
you.
5
What do you
job.
feel like is your one thing that you consistently bring into relationships?
Uh,
What is your common denominator?
I think that I think I get detached kind of easily. Um, but yeah, I think no, I think how do I say this? I don't think people know where they stand with me a lot. Um, but I try to let people know, like, I'm really open with my words, but I think sometimes my actions don't match it. I just get this really I have habits of, like, just being unbothered. And I'm sorry.
All you fellas out there, sorry for 2020 and
Yeah.
the years before. But
Here's my sorry for 2000 and all those years. I'll
um,
s Okay, go ahead.
why okay, go ahead. You say you get attached. Is there like a particular
A
action? Oh, I
moment.
guess a particular
I
action.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really always feel super safe getting really close to people. So I just be like, I don't know. Like, it's just something in me that just goes, detach. It's just weird. It's just like, fall off.
Are you scared of commitment?
Mm-mm.
Well, no.
It's
What?
not that I'm afraid of commitment. Like, I
I'm
can be
confused
within the
now.
commitment and like I think what happens is they do something that I don't necessarily care for. And I know as I've gotten older, I can't say this for all of my relationships, but I know as I've gotten older, I've
Mhm,
been really good at communicating um, what needs to be said and how I feel. And a lot of times, I don't feel like I'm being heard. Now, a lot of this does come from like me possibly dating. No, 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 not gonna do it because we're focusing on me. No, no, no.
No, no,
Bring it
no.
back.
Here.
Um,
Okay. Uh-huh.
within myself, that comes from it's my fault because I didn't I noticed red flags that I knew not necessarily wrong with that person, but I knew would not work for me. I just, was just like,
Mhm,
just keep running on forward. Maybe they'll pass. So ignoring my intuition,
mhm,
ignoring not even my intuition, just ignoring like my thought process. Like, okay, this is not going to work for you. And you just like, but I'm going to try it anyway. It's just like, for what? For what? And then they
mhm,
don't like necessarily hear me. And I think another issue is that sometimes, even when I'm delivering a message, even the message can come off a little detached. Like, you might not feel like it's bothering me as much as it actually is because my delivery can
mhm,
be super chill. And then I'll tag on another issue is that when I feel like I've said it a couple of times and you didn't hear me calmly, instead of like walking away or, doing the mature thing, I lose it. It's like explosions. And then they're looking at me like, who is she? And I'm like, you shouldn't have unleashed the beast. Why didn't you listen to me? I've been saying this for months. And then I have to realize, like, girl, that ain't nobody's fault but your own. Like, you're the only person that is in control of you. So if you feel like you're going to get to a point that you're not being heard, then you should just walk away. Like, I got to be smarter about that. And I still feel like in some form of way I'm still putting it on them. Um So I'm trying to really swing this in on myself. But I have really worked on communication a lot. So, because I know my communication has not always been clear. So over the years, I would say like when I moved to like right before I moved to Atlanta, and during that time, I was really focused on that, on making sure that my messages were really clear. So I know I'm only speaking from, point of reference in that particular relationship, because that was the last relationship I was in. Now, for everybody else, I know for a fact, like anybody that I've just dated, I know they feel like they can't necessarily they feel like they can get close to me. And then I just feel like I like somewhere along the line, I just like pull the rug up under because I'm like, you're getting too comfortable.
Nope.
And I know that it's not healthy. I know it's not healthy. Yeah.
Are these like constant things that made you detach? Is there like a
Say that one more
constant
time, Tessie.
is there like a constant thing that would happen with these guys that make you like, no, I don't want you? Or is it like um is it you? Like, no, I don't really like you like that. You was cool for the moment.
Some
I don't want you to get close.
sometimes. Like sometimes. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have like is there a pattern? Yeah, sometimes I just like I said, it comes from me not going like not noticing those red flags of I might not be that interested in this person. And
So I have a question for you.
yeah.
Do you feel like you're on the same page with the guys that you talk to, like in terms of dating? Like, do they want more out of you than you want out of them? Like, do you see them as, when you first start dating them, as more temporary and they're trying to get more out of you? Like, do you ever feel like you have just that, like, you kind of just know in your head, this is not where I'm trying to go, but they want more from you? Much more long term, more of a serious relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. Um, I would say okay. So, um, I think that no, if I talk to you for like long enough, it's like okay, like we could try this out. I'm very vocal. I've been very vocal. And this is what I talked about in the last podcast about like not being afraid of rejection. If we've been talking for a while, I'll say like, "Oh, okay, maybe we should like be together." And if they say like, "No," then I'm like, "Okay." And then I just like I detach, and then they're just kind of like, what the heck?" And then they want to revisit it, and I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to." I'm like, "No, I don't want to." And then there have definitely been, people that did not hear me because a lot of times when I know for a fact that I don't want something long term with someone, I will say up front, like, you know, I'm kind of finicky. I get bored easily. So don't take it personal if, I just pill out. Yeah.
You tell them this? Oh, and you usually end up peeling out?
I don't know
And
if
they're
they
okay?
okay.
Oh, they
No,
stay
I mean
peeled up,
I'll
like
talk to
gone pretty
them
much.
like okay, I realize that I do have another toxic behavior. I just like pop out. Like, hey, it's been a minute on that future stuff. Like, hey, what's up? Remember me?
Like, dang, it's crazy out here. Just thought about you.
Toxic. Don't forget about me.
Stay safe. Hope you got all the supplies you need.
Got tissue?
I might could help if you need some. Knowing doggone well you ain't even trying to help. You just trying to see like, I'm bored. Come
That's
talk
a
to
lot
me.
of times that is exactly what I want. Like, I just want somebody to talk to. I was like, dang, I've been,
Yeah.
chilling. I'm an introvert, extrovert. So sometimes I'll be like real introverted. And I'm like, all right, been 3 days of this introvert stuff. Let's go out here and pop out. What an exec. Then I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna call such and such. I ain't talked to them in a minute. That is toxic. It's just like, girl, leave them alone. Leave people alone.
Okay, so I want to kind of switch the conversation from you all to other females. Let's hurt some feelings. What are some things that you feel like you have seen friends or relatives or anyone kind of closer around you do consistently that like kind of you feel like they've done it in every single
You want me to be
relationship?
beefing with people or something? Like, I'm just confused.
Right?
No names, but you can be very generic,
No names.
like I've seen other female. You don't have to be like my cousin, blah, blah, blah. It's just like I've seen other females, do this kind of thing or just some things. Cause I feel like the reason why I'm asking, because I feel like a lot of females will do very toxic things and then their friends will gas them up for doing very toxic things. So I want to kind of reverse that. Instead of gassing them, what are things that you see that females do that they get encouraged to keep doing that honestly leads to them being the toxic person in the
Well, I don't have no
relationship?
problem with that because I don't gas none of my friends up. I don't gas none of y'all. Y'all probably tired of my mouth. That's fine. Be tired. I told you the truth. um, you can call me Accountability Annie in the streets. Okay. All right.
Let's
Let's
go. Let's
see. I
go.
think one of the main issues that I see is communication, not being able to say what you want, what you expect, what you need if something's upsetting you without getting way too emotional. I think that is a very key thing, but we discussed that earlier. I think that kind of just branches off into a bunch
Mhm.
of other things. I also think that micromanaging people is horrid, and I feel like a lot of women do that. And Tessie, I ain't just talking about you. I don't even have you in mind when I say that. I don't think
I just do
honestly,
it
I
part.
think you try to micromanage people with your brain, but I've seen people like do that in the streets. I'll be like, if you don't let that man live, girl, what in the world? Let him live. Like I have seen them do that, and I'm just like, he's gonna hate you one day. He, even if y'all go all the way, he gonna wake up one day, roll over, and just be like, I hate her. Because you're so busy trying to make him do what you want him to do, and they don't have the concept. Like, a lot of women don't have the concept of, this is a whole separate human. He's a whole nother human, bro. Like, stop trying to control that man. Should you ask him to do things that are, respectful of your relationship? Yes. But should you be out here actively trying to micromanage wherever he is? No. I've had a person, we were out having fun, and she was like, "Oh, we about to go here." And I was having a great time at the hookah spot. And we done popped up where Brad at. I was like, "Are you for real?"
So you did an unbeknownst drive by or pop
Pull
up.
up. And
Pull
I was
up.
just like, "Oh, no, this is not the move. This is not the way. We not finna."
Those are fun until it gets
Who is
crazy. I'm
that
like,
fun
oh,
for?
okay.
That is
I
not
didn't
fun for
expect.
me.
Do you think that a lot of females do things to the men or women that they're dating that if it were done to them, they would be pissed off about? That's like a very leading question. I only set it up for you to answer like
Mhm.
yes, but react. What do you think about that? Do you think that a lot of females, including myself, have done things that if it were done to them, it would be seen as controlling or mean or abusive or you're trying to suppress me or why you checking up on me? Like Do you
Yeah.
think that?
I hate when people detach from me. I'm like, who do you think you are? Do you know who I am, B? Do you know who I am? What do you mean? I'm great.
Look, I'm over here trying to think like it's my ways. Um, I don't think Ashley or Ashley. I don't know. I
Let me
never.
put it this
I
way.
feel like I do to them what I feel like I would
We're
want
talking other females
done.
too. So let me pitch a
Okay.
scenario to you. You have
Okay.
um one guy who hasn't had his hair cut in a while, he's just been lazy, didn't feel like doing it. We're talking post quarantine, pre quarantine times. And a woman
Okay.
could very easily look at him and be like, "We're not going out until like you need to get your hair cut. You look like a mess. It's been a while. Like, come on, let's just go. Like, bro, you need to go take care of whatever." That would just be
Okay.
seen as
Okay.
upkeeping your man. But if a girl were to walk out and she's had that wig on, for a couple months too long, and he's like, "Look, bro, I know you have the money in your account. Can you just buy like, another wig or just wear your natural hair until then? Like that just doesn't look that like, great on you right now." How do you think that would be taken?
Um, I mean, yeah, I'll probably be like, dang, you don't find me attractive, or I just feel like like who are you to tell me what my wig look like or whatever it looks like. But at the same time, I feel like I would know, like, yeah, I do need to do something about it. No? Okay. Um I guess because that's kind of like, oh gosh, I like the truth. Okay, I could deal with the truth.
So dare I say a double standard?
All right. I got it. I'm gonna address it. I feel like
How?
that is weighted.
Maybe
No,
you need to
I
give me
feel like
another
that's
bigger
weighted.
scenario
It's weighted
because that was
because
no. Okay.
of societal standards. I get what you're saying. It is definitely a double standard. At the same time, is there way more pressure on women to be attractive? Yes. Can men be out here gain 20 pounds
Yes.
and still go bag the same amount of women? A lot of times, yes. So therefore, it's much more sensitive
He got
for
my
a man to tell a woman that, oh, you need to change XYZ because due to societal pressures, everything is already telling us to change something about us. Whether it is you have permed hair, they like go natural. If you have natural hair, society says, oh, well, it should be like looser curls or something like that. Like it's already like you skinny, they like, oh, you ain't fit. If you fat, you need to lose weight. It's already like so many things being thrown at us. It's not at the same proportion. So granted, do I feel like that is wrong? Yes. But I will say, is that a even scenario? No.
I guess it's just how
Okay,
you say
fair.
it.
Yeah, Kaya, how do you feel?
It's how you say it. I, yes, okay. There is a double standard, but honestly, like I feel like if you know there's something that you need to do, and your partner or whoever is telling you about it, it's how they say it to you, how they bring it up. I can appreciate that. I will appreciate it. At that moment, I might feel like like leave me alone. Like I'm gonna do what I need to do later.
You
Like
are.
I would. Like I would not. How am I lying? If I know I need
Okay,
my
but
hair done,
that could be taken in a bunch of
and
things.
he
Like, let's say you put on a little weight. If your dude is like, you need to go to the gym, and he just keeps saying it, and even if he keeps saying it nicely, eventually you're gonna be like, yo, shut up.
if he keeps
Don't say it no more.
yes, if he keeps saying it, then that's the issue. Like if he's like poking, then yes. But if he's saying it to, I guess if I know already that that needs to happen, and he's saying it in a certain way where I will be able to receive it, then cool. But yes, if you're poking and poking, of course I'm gonna have an issue with it. That's how I see it. I'm gonna have an issue with it. But I know that I need to fix something. I'm not gonna be like, oh, but, I'm not gonna argue with you like a crazy person. But like, if I know I need to fix something and you properly address it, I
So,
don't.
do you feel like women, you know what though? I'm happy you use the little poke thing, because I felt like that is exactly what a lot of women do when they find an issue with their man. Instead of you just stating it once and letting him, be his own person and fixing it at his own time with that same respect that you would hope he gives you, they don't do that. They just be poking, like.
Okay. But yes, there are double standards. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying from my point of view, how I would take it, um, is just your approach, how you say it to me. Um, Especially if
Do
I
you
know I
think
need to make that change. Like, I can be in my
you should
feelings for a
probably add
moment,
the
but I'm
rate
not
that they say it as
I'm not.
well?
Yes, yes, at the rate too. Yes. Like, you're not giving me the time to actually make this change, and that's just like, all right, out the face. Out the face.
But I really think a lot of women I think a lot of women do that. Y'all need to relax, because if your man was on your head the way you be on his head about stuff, half of y'all would have a mental breakdown. Get off his neck, because y'all can't handle that smoke back. You really can't. That's why I don't stay on nobody's neck. That's probably why I get that detached thing. I'll be like, you know what? I feel like I'm about to be on his neck about it, and I just be like,
I don't either. Like,
screw it.
yeah, no. I don't nag about something. Like, if I told you about something that I feel like should be worked on, and then like time goes by and it's like, have you even made an effort to do that? I'll mention it again, but probably in a different way. See where you at with it. And it's like, okay, some more time goes by. I'm like, all right. Obviously, you're not trying to go there. So I'm just gonna slowly remove myself.
No, I mean,
Shit. Hopefully you figure it out. But I'm not here to be your mother
ooh,
either.
you know
So
what? And that's another thing. I see a lot of y'all trying to be somebody's mama. I've done it before. Won't do it again. I bet you that. Woo! A
yeah, you did
home
it.
mom in the
Yeah.
streets. Like, I don't. Shalisa's birthed no children, and she will not be raising nobody until she does. So, and I feel like a lot of women do that, and I feel like they don't really understand like what that is necessarily. Like, in a sense, I would even say that it's almost safe to say that a lot of times, because in tradition, that being a partner is also kind of like there's this mixed messaging in there that comes with being a mom, in a sense, like, being there for, all your little needs and stuff like that. Like, let that man be independent. He grown. He is alive. He is alive.
He is alive.
He has been keeping himself alive for this long. Relax. And if you feel like, this goes back to the communication. If you feel like, he can't really, keep it to, a standard that you would appreciate after you have properly communicated it, then maybe that's not for you, because I feel like Ashley said this and she was correct. If you really, really want to be in a relationship, you do change. So you will form new habits that benefit your partner and make them comfortable. Now, when I say that, I'm saying this with a disclaimer of don't get crazy, don't lose yourself. But you can definitely okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, no, so with the time we have left, I feel like that's kind of another good avenue to go down. So in your experience, both of you all, I know a lot of people kind of feel as if in a relationship, someone should accept them fully for 100%, like who they are, not changing anything. Like, do you feel like there's any sort of level of change that people should have? And if so, how much and what does that kind of look like for a healthy relationship?
I think that you should be willing to change things that would make you more of a considerate person, more of a kinder person, um, more of an open-minded person. Those are things that I would say you need to, those things are really safe to change. As far as you coming in and telling me, how you want my hair, I don't know. That ain't it. I do what I
Nah.
want when I want. As far as you might suggest that you like when I wear a certain dress, as far as telling me what I can and can't put on my body. Personally, for me, that's a no, unless we're going to a specific event. Like, I would honestly say that, like, if you feel like I show too much cleavage, which I try not to do when I'm around people's family, and you felt like, sis, can you just, cover up a little bit? I could do that for that specific, time period. I can make that change. I know that make your grandma feel uncomfortable. I can button it up. Like, it ain't no big deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can do that for the time being. But as far as like changing those things that like kind of replicate my personality on the outside, nah, that's a no for me. But you tell me.
I agree. I agree. I mean, there's nothing for me to disagree with there. Um, n- Now I don't know. Okay, like physical things, of course. Like don't try to correct that on me. Like not like that. But yes, I don't know. I agree. The open mindedness, like at least try to see if it works out for you. You don't want to like Shelly said, lose yourself. You don't want to become unhappy when you're trying these things, and if it's making you unhappy, let your partner know, and just communicate what
Mm.
works for you, and what like find that middle ground. And if y'all can't come to those agreements, then baby girl,
Ooh,
you have to
I'm
you
about to
have to
step
like
on some
move
toes
move on, I guess.
real quick, real quick.
Hmm. Let me
You
hear
women
it.
do not know how to do that. Y'all want to come through and completely change a man and try to make him fit around your foot. Um, y'all need to stop. The same grace that men be giving y'all with, or your partner gives you when you do stuff that they don't like, you need to be extending that same grace. And a lot of y'all don't know how to do that. Y'all need to figure that out. Y'all need to be kinder, nicer, wiser, more, emotionally attuned to the situation. And you be a little bit more flexible, a little bit open minded. Don't just come in thinking that, oh, all my ways are perfect. And I know I have definitely, fallen victim to that, but I've worked on it. Woo! Just being like, no, I'm good. The way I do stuff is perfect. What you mean? What you saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be that way. You do need to be open minded. And y'all don't do that. But y'all definitely want somebody to be like, oh, like, I don't understand why he just doesn't understand this is me. Why you can't understand that that's just him? Now what's the beef, sis? What's the beef? What's the smoke? Stop trying to change somebody.
Yeah. Which what's the point of being with him if you don't like him? I guess you didn't like him to begin with. Apparently, you thought you could change him, but
Right. What was the reason?
that's him. But
And-
now, I mean, like I said, if y'all can't meet some kind of agreement, then that's when your decisions
Mhm.
needs to be made. Like, let's part, because I'm me, you.
Thank you. And then that comes to
It don't work.
I would say one of my last, little toe steppers is have y'all be basic and dating for types, dating for look instead of how somebody treats you. Y'all
What are you
dummies,
talking about?
and I'm judging. Y'all basic.
Not
Y'all,
me. Nah,
y'all
I
need to
disagree
y'all
with
need to date.
that.
That's why I
It's a lot
said,
of
I date off who treats me right. Right.
surface level stuff. That's why
Yes, because
we
you
try to
weren't dating
change
him off of
people.
for the right reasons.
That's a
Y'all don't
little
know how to
different.
date somebody based off of, their personality, their actions towards you, their actions towards others, their ideologies, certain the things that really would, I would say, make a successful long-term relationship, whether you're going for marriage or just boyfriend, girlfriend, or live-in partner, whatever. Like, y'all don't know how to date nobody for that. Y'all like, oh, he fun. He got the muscles. He got money. Okay. All right. Keep on doing that. All right. Cool, sis. You be with the same dude every time,
Right.
and then you wonder why your
Right.
feelings hurt. It's you. It's you, stupid. Right.
Issue? You
Thank
thought.
you.
You
And I
thought.
don't know why you thought. It don't really make any sense. Just because it
Oh
make
my
your privates
gosh.
jump, don't mean that you need to be jumping into it.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
what I'm talking
why
about.
not
Jumping
jump
into the
into the
relationship.
relationship? I mean, if they make what you call a jump, take proper caution if you want to your rocks knock stop. I can't even say it. If you want to get
Yeah.
off, take
But
proper
if you
precautions
gonna
if that's
learn,
all they're doing.
if you learn to learn
Or
how to
doing
do
for
that.
you.
Oh, sorry.
But I won't
Go ahead.
commit nothing.
I'm so sorry.
No, I was just saying, don't don't jump into a commitment just because they
Yes,
coochie
like
jumping. That's basically what I was saying.
y'all need to,
You can jump on it, but don't jump in it.
and that's a word. Y'all need to learn how to, if y'all want to be out here having casual, sex because somebody, turns you on, then learn how to do that properly. You need to take a lesson, detach. You're welcome. You're welcome. Unless that person treats you well. And if that person treats you well, then, let it just all fall in place. But half the time, I would even say 75% of the time, they don't. That's on you.
Hey, it works for them until they
Okay,
learn.
I have
Oh,
another very leading question that I'm obviously
Of
trying to get a
course.
certain answer out of. Um, do you feel like, because remember, just so everyone's not pissed off, this podcast is only focusing on ourselves and not other people. Do you feel like,
I was gonna say that when she
yeah,
was
yeah,
talking.
yeah, we have
But
to
go ahead.
remember that. Do you feel like people aren't honest about what they want out of a relationship sometimes, that like maybe they want more from somebody, but they act like they're okay with kind of like just being friends? Or do you feel like maybe they know someone else wants more but they just kind of want some company and so they're doing that? Like, do you feel like you've seen that a lot in people and just not seeing eye to eye?
Yup.
For sure. For sure. Oh gosh. Yeah, both cases actually. um, yeah, so I know of a person who gets their cake and eat it too. Okay. Um, for real. Like this person gets a full on commitment from the opposite from their partner or thing. And it's like for years. Like they will have this
Bravo,
relationship going on
sis.
for years. Like it's not
I know who you are.
right. Like never committed to that. Oh, me and you are together exclusively. No, it's just like I'm not ready for this. The person keep telling this guy, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not where where I want to be. But baby, this girl, she, She holds down a relationship for the longest without being in a relationship. So, I don't know what to say about that, but I mean, it's impressive. I am impressed because it's going on probably 5
You
years.
want to know what I would say about that particular situation? Because I do want to start something. What I'm offended, but I'm gonna say it after. She communicates. Baby girl communicates, and it may not always be the proper thing, but she gonna open her mouth or open that text message and say what she need to say, and that's exactly why everybody be just following suit, because she is saying everything that makes her comfortable. She ain't trying to force it, shove it down your throat. She's saying it exactly like, all right, take it or leave it. She's leaving real, take it or leave it, and they're taking it.
Yeah,
And you want to, and that brings to our next
exactly.
point. I would like to
They're
start
taking
going
it.
forward in this year of the good Lord's 2020. Non-communication is basic. If you don't communicate how you really feel, then you're basic. Okay, there we go. I'm done. That's my point.
Yes. She was a perfect example for
The
that question.
best. The best. Oh,
Okay, so what about people on the other side of that, like who are taking, that situation, though that may not really be what they want? Like, how do you kind of feel about that side?
communicate. I don't feel bad for you.
I feel bad for them, but like, I mean, I kind of feel bad, but it's like it's you. You need to figure out what you want for real. It ain't the other person that's telling you
Yeah.
what they want.
I think
It's
people are,
you.
as long as you are not,
So,
I do know there are, narcissists and people who, really do gaslight people, probably for a living. They don't know no other way they don't really know any other way how to communicate, because they are just structured to vocalize things in a way that gets them what they want. But I would say that you need to recognize certain patterns and recognize if somebody's dealing with you in that extremely unhealthy manner, and walk away. That comes to the point of those people don't want to walk away. You know for a fact that this person ain't giving you what you want. And even when you even I and half the time they don't. Even when you did try to, healthily communicate to this person what you did want, they just were unresponsive to it. So if somebody's unresponsive to it, then you need to walk away. You need.
So, can I ask, do you think that's an overarching problem of maybe someone's just too scared to be single? Like they would rather deal with their situation than to just leave and not have anybody? Once again, very leading question. There's like only one answer that I'm kind of asking for you two to
Yes.
expand on.
That comes into, you're bored, you're not, you bored. You know what, let me take this back. You're not interested in yourself
let me
enough
fast forward.
to walk away from somebody. And I say that in the aspect of, if that relationship isn't doing it for you and you can't walk away simply because you're afraid to be alone, and being alone is really having yourself, then what are you running from within yourself? What are you so afraid of to face within yourself? Because I know a lot of people use relationships and talking to people just the same way that people use drugs. Like they use it as like a coping mechanism so they don't have to face whatever their real issues are. So what are you running from within yourself that makes you so afraid to just be with yourself? I would suggest meditating, journaling, all those little healing activities, some therapy. That's what I would suggest, because that is a main indicator of you not being able to deal with yourself or face up to your own actions. I know a lot of people just, did some messed up stuff, and if they sit around too long, they think about what they did to other people, and they have a hard time, being accountable for that. A lot of people don't have it's hard for them to embrace their darker side and understand it fully. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. But it makes sense. Okay. Well, yeah. I think people don't know how to deal with heartbreak. Um, they build up a wall pretty much. They end up hardening themselves to be prepared to for a breakup, but it's not really facing it head on. Um, so in turn they're just kind of like going through, I guess, the up and downs in the relationship, but it's still kind of like, at least I got somebody to, I guess they think it's normal. It's like a normal thing now, cuz it's like, what's the point of being open to this relationship if I'm going to end up heartbroken? And it's like they're not really realizing, like, obviously this person isn't for you, or you don't really, like you said, care enough for yourself to be, better, or to be more knowledgeable that you deserve better, you
Okay.
know.
I think that addressed Ashley's question.
I thought I heard something, to be honest. But
I think it did. On the heartbreak side of people, I think you were saying that people are afraid to
it,
be heartbroken, and that's why. Okay, okay.
yeah,
Be alone. Yes.
they just build up for that, and it's like, I'll just deal with this because this is how I know to deal with it, and I can figure out how I can just jump to the next thing, even though if then, I mean, because I guess they think they know that this is how everybody is. You know what I'm saying? And if like people are accepting um that, they're accepting how, I guess, how they're coming off hard, whatever, uh they're not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Like, there isn't that one person that's telling them for sure, like, or showing them. You know what? I don't know where I was going with this, but let's just stick to the thing. They're building a wall up until they think they're they think they're doing fine, because obviously somebody's still staying around
Ooh,
and they can deal with the bull crap. Period. So they
whew.
don't feel the need to
Unhappy
change.
people love unhappy people. All right.
Sorry.
Mhm. Is there one last, positive note that we could leave this on? Because this has probably been a very gut punching episode for some people to listen to. Is there like one positive thing that you can you know, say or end this on in terms of relationships and taking care of yourself and
Ooh, if you wouldn't have said that, I
anything
was
like
this
that?
close to being like, nope, I don't care. Take it. You need it. I'm sure y'all got a lot of people in y'all lives who already, patting you on the back, like, it's okay. Nope. Take your medicine. Suck it up. Be adult. An adult. I would say the positive thing that I can say is really focus on your self-care. Focus on really, loving yourself for real. And, don't be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid of your past. Don't be afraid of actions that you've taken that you're not proud of. Um, be able to face yourselves so that you can be healthy in your next relationship or in your current one, or shoot, even in a relationship with yourself, just really um be mindful of yourself and take accountability and love yourself.
I think accountability is the major thing there. You know when you
They
doing
said
too
a
much.
positive note,
You
Kai.
know. Um, yeah. No, I'm saying if you're like, it's good that you recognize something that's happening within yourself, and we're just encouraged that, don't be so it's a good thing to recognize that. I'll give you that.
Yes.
If you're able to
Oh,
recognize that, then you can make a
one last
change.
thing. If you
You can
don't
make a
have
change.
friends
Mhm.
that can help you recognize that and who are too afraid, then you might need to get new friends. You might need to get some new people around you. I'm just saying. Ain't no point in having people.
Yeah.
You're not gonna ever be great or be better if you don't have people who, can hold you accountable and help you grow. Because that's the only way you're gonna ever grow. Whew, I hate being G checked, but everybody around me be G checking me,
Oh,
chit checking me
accountability.
24/7.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, you gotta come back like a week later and be like, "All right, guys,
All the
I was
time.
wrong."
I'm so done. All right. It was pretty good.
Oh
Okay, guys.
gosh, that was
Well,
great.
we hope you really enjoyed this episode of Talking a Brunch. We may or may not have a part 2 of this. I don't know. We might contract some more stuff out of this. Who knows? But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Check us out on all the things. Please, please, God, tell me you know all the things. I am begging you. Woo!
All right, look out for our
Mm.
Instagram. Follow, subscribe on our YouTube, comment on all the platforms, rate and
Hey!
like, right? So,
I'm so done. All
follow
right.
us.
Bye.